Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, we're gonna do something simple, just like working with text objects and Sverchok to achieve like a kind of like a clean outline of the text. If you ever want to do that, I believe you can do that if you actually just convert text into a curve and actually treating it as like a 2D curve. I'm not sure if this is actually treating it as a 3D curve, maybe that's more correct. So that's kind of working, but we're gonna try to do it not by converting it into a curve, but just still keeping it as a text object. So this is gonna be text clean curve or text outline. Yeah, let's just save it like that. Let's just change this to blend. Okay, so we have a live text object, and then we just kind of bring it into Sverchok and kind of try to work with it. I'm gonna point out a few things. So I'm gonna objects in, get selection, and by default this is actually what you get. See, you can see all the ugly lines. If you that's something that's gonna happen if you convert text objects into polygons. You get this all these ugly lines. You can actually get rid of it pretty easily, but I want to kind of show you a way to kind of make a better mesh. That's if you extrude the text and kind of using remesh and don't remove disconnected pieces, set this to smooth, or for now just set it to block. Increase the octree and you will get a nicer result if you turn on pause modifier. So this is what I was talking about, like a nicer grid mesh, and you can increase the meshing as well and update it in Sverchok. So that's actually much better. And then if you actually using process like rewire, vector rewire here, and set it to from scalar 0 to the z, it will actually flatten the text, so you get back that nice flat look. And you can also use remove doubles here, so whatever it sees like an overlapping, it will remove that overlap and you get a new mesh which is very clean. If I try to bake it now, I'll make sure I cannot select in the 3D view, and I'm gonna bake it. So as a result, we get this very clean polygon line. There's some like overlaps here, like causing the normal to flip. Let me quickly double check this guy. It's okay. This is edit mode, and actually I'm selecting the wrong thing. Edit mode, this guy, maybe normal, make normal consistent. There's still like a normal flip there, but I guess that's something to keep in mind. So we have our text right here, and it has been turned into these objects. And the cool thing is we can still change the text at any time. So you get that kind of neat effect. Sometimes you need to increase the sampling. Okay, the next thing we can do is actually to to generate the outline. Let me try using this mesh filter. So mesh filter node, plug this guy in there, and let's check the vertices first. So you get this by default if you select the interior, but you probably want the boundary. The boundary actually selects the outer part, the outer points that made up this text. So this is actually what we want. And I believe the edges actually give us a clean outline of the text. Although sometimes you still get these bits right there. Maybe you need to increase the resolutions and then update it. Wait a few seconds. Hopefully we get rid of those extra lines. Oh, this are okay. There you go. Yeah, that's sort of result that I was thinking to create. It seems to be taking quite some time to generate that. Maybe instead of block, we want to maybe smooth it. Maybe one of the processing here kind of making it slow, like remove doubles perhaps. Let me try like if I'm using smooth. There you go. That's the smooth outline, all created in one process inside Sverchok. So this is really just a text outline. If you want to have a surface, like a clean surface, I don't think you can. I think the mesh filter does not actually do that. It does edges really well, but not the face. For the face, you might need to do like a fill hole, but fill hole itself might not be perfect. Although maybe you can use filter face, but I have not tried it. But with the outline, you should be able to generate like a skin. If we use skin mesher and we get just a clean outline. So you can see this workflow is more like adding modifier a little bit by a little bit. So there you go, that's the result. And once you get this result, it's really up to you how you want to continue modify this result. Maybe you want to use like a random number for this guy. You can also use a noise. Actually, noise probably give you a better look. And we use it. Gonna use float. We don't know how many vertices. Just plug that in. It's gonna generate random number between 0 and 1 by default. Let's make like 100 points. So now it's a random number between 0.1 and 0.2. Still too thick, so I'll reduce it. So that's a random number. Maybe make it like 500 points. So now it looks a little bit more interesting. There we go. Make it 1000 points. That's too much. That's why it's refusing. You can also just use list length to get the total number of the vertices points to plug into the random number. So this guy goes in there, and the length, which is the total number of the list, goes into the size. And we should have the right number for this random number. So now we have this text. So you're looking more interesting, and it's all pretty random. You can also use noise and stuff, and you can smooth this. I believe the smooth is somewhere in the setting of the modifier. Smooth outside. Okay, smooth shade. There you go. So yeah, you can continue doing this and keep adding nodes and then modify it. But this is kind of as far I want to go through in this live noding. So remember, we started with a text object, and then we add these modifications. We kind of flatten the text, and then we kind of remove doubles, and then we mesh filter and just get the outline of the text, and we end up with this. And where's the text now? We can still modify the text actually if we the easiest I can think of is to use animation nodes. Just use a text object output here, grab the text, and then add our own value to the text, like a snail, for example, and update it. And wait a few seconds and it should update it. It's taking quite a while, maybe it has to do some calculation. So, but there you go. That's the final result. Yeah, hopefully you find this useful. If you have any comments, any suggestion or any question, just let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.